Assalamualaikum dear students, hope all of you will be fine. Today we are going to start first lecture of June SVT of chemistry for grade 9, but before this kindly submit your April and May SVT in your school till 13 June and buy a separate notebook for June SVT. Let's move toward our today lecture. Look at question number 1. Draw the sketch of periodic table, page number 86 two times. On page number 86, this is the periodic table sketch. You have to draw this sketch of periodic table in your notebook two times. Now look at question number 2. Write the electronic configuration of first 18 element form book, page number 51. This is the electronic configuration of first 18 elements. You have to draw this table in your notebook. What is meant by electronic configuration? Look at the definition. The distribution or arrangement of electrons around the nucleus in orbits or shell is called electronic configuration. In simple words, electronic configuration means arrangement of electrons in various shell. As we know that electrons revolve around the nucleus in fixed circular path. These circular paths are called shells. We have various type of shell. Look at the table. First shell is called K shell. Second shell is called L. Third shell is called M. Fourth shell is called N, and so on. How we find out that how many electrons the first shell will occupy, second shell will occupy, and third shell will occupy? Through 2n square formula, we will find out that how many electrons this shell will occupy. Like we have first shell, if we want to find out the number of electron in the first shell, n will show the number of shell. Okay, if you want to find out the number of shell in the first shell, that write 1 in instead of n. Okay, 1 ones are 1, 1 twos are 2. It's mean that first shell will occupy maximum of 2 electrons. Now look at number second. N mean number of shell. If you want to find out the number of electron in the second shell, then put 2 instead of n. Okay, 2 twos are 4, 4 twos are 8. It's mean that second shell will occupy 8 electrons. Now number third, if you want to find out the number of electron in third shell, through this formula we will find out. Okay, and show the number of shell. M is a third shell. Write 3 in the bracket. 3 threes are 9, 9 twos are 18. Okay, it will occupy third shell will occupy maximum of 18 electrons. Now number fourth one. Okay, number of shell is 4. Write 4 in the bracket. 4 fours are 16. Multiply 16 with the 2, and then 30. The answer will be 32. It's mean that the fourth shell occupy maximum of 32 electrons. But these shells are further divided into subshells, and we have 4 types of subshell: S, P, D, and F. Okay, S stand for sharp, P for principal, D for diffused, and F for fundamental. S subshell can accommodate a maximum of 2 electrons, P shell can accommodate a maximum of 6 electrons, D can accommodate maximum of 10 electrons, and F can accommodate a maximum of 14 electrons. There is a difference of 4 electrons. Okay, in first shell have 2 electrons. If we add 4, then 6. With the further 8 4, then a 10, and further 8 4, then 14. Okay, now look at the table. These are the number of shell 1, 2, 3, and 4. These are the names of the shell K, L, M, N, and this is the formula we use to find out the number of electron in this shell. First shell occupy 2 electrons, second shell 8, third shell 18, and fourth shell 32. Now these shells are further divided into subshells, and the electrons are arranged in these subshells. The first shell have 1 subshell, second shell will have 2 subshell, third shell have the 3 subshell, and fourth shell have 4 subshell. The number of shell will show the number of subshell. Okay, the first shell have 1 subshell, which is S. Second shell have 2 subshell, S and P. Third shell have 3 subshell, S, P, and D. Fourth shell have 4 subshell, S, P, D, and F. Okay, now here is a number 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4. This will show the number of shell. Okay, this is the subshell of first shell. That's why we write 1 with the S. These are the subshell of the second shell. That's why we write 2S, 2P. These are the subshell of the third shell. That's why we write 3S, 3P, and 3D. These are the subshell of fourth shell. That's why we write 4S, 4P, 4D, and 410. And these will show the number of electrons, okay, in this subshell. The electron will first occupy those subshell which have a minimum, which have a lowest energy. Okay, 1s has a lowest energy, that's why electron will first fill this subshell, then will fill 2s 2p, then will fill 3s 3p. But remember that after 3p the electrons will fill 4s instead of 3d, because the energy of the 4s is lower as compared to 3d. That's why the electron will first 4s subshell. Okay, let's take a few examples. First example we will take of nitrogen. Nitrogen atomic number is 7. It's mean that it have 7 electron. How we will arrange these 7 electron in this shell? Okay, as we know that electrons are arranged in shells. The first shell is K, second shell is L. Its atomic number is 7. The first 2 electrons will arrange in the first shell, which is 2. K shell will occupy maximum of 2 electrons. The rest of the 5 electrons will move toward the L shell. Okay, how these electrons are arranged in this subshell? Okay, how many electrons we have in the K shell? We have 2 electrons in the K shell, and K shell have only one subshell, which is 1s. How many electrons S will occupy? X will occupy maximum of 2 electrons. That's why it will accommodate only 2 electrons. Now 5 electrons are left. These 5 electrons will fill in the second shell, and second shell have 2 subshell, 2s and 2p. S will occupy maximum of 2 electrons. Now how many electrons are left? 3 electrons are left. These 3 electrons will move toward the 2p. The maximum capacity of p is 6, but here we have only 3 electrons. Then these 3 electrons will move toward the 2p. This is the electronic configuration of nitrogen. Now number second example we will take of sodium. Atomic number of sodium is 11. The K shell will occupy 2 electrons, L shell will occupy 8 electrons. Okay, total it will be 10. Now 11th electron will move toward the M shell. Now how many subshell we have in the K? We have only one subshell in the K, which is 1s. The and K shell have only 2 electron, and the maximum capacity of S is 2 electron. It will occupy 2 electron. Now the L shell have 8 electrons total. The first 2 electrons will move toward the 2s. The maximum capacity of S is 2. Now how many electrons we have left in the second shell? 6 electrons are left in the second shell, and the maximum capacity of P is 6. It will accommodate maximum of 6 electrons. Now these are the arrangement of only 10 electrons. 1 electron is left. The 1 electron will move toward the third shell, which is M. Okay, the M shell have 3 subshell, which is 3p, 3s, 3p and 3d, but there is no need of 3p, 3d. That's why I didn't write 3p and 3d. It have only 1 electron. This 1 electron will move toward the 3s1. This is the electronic configuration of the sodium. Now we will take the third example of chlorine. Atomic number of chlorine is 17. Okay, how these 17 electrons are arranged in this shell? The K shell occupy maximum of 2 electrons, L shell 8, and it become 10. The rest of the 7 electron will move toward the third shell, which is M. Now how we will fill these electrons in the subshell? Look at the K subshell is 1s. How many electrons S will occupy? X will occupy maximum of 2 electrons. These 2 electrons we fill in the subshell. Now the second shell is L. L have 2 subshell, 2s and 2p. Maximum capacity of S is 2. Then it will accommodate 2 electrons. How many electrons are left? Now 6 electrons are left in the second shell. It will move toward the 2p, and p will occupy maximum of 6 electrons. Now 7 arrangement of 7 electrons are left, and these 7 electrons are present in the third shell. Okay, third shell have 3 subshell, 3s, 3p and 3d. There is no need of 3d, that's why we write only 3s and 3p. Now S will occupy maximum of 2 electrons. How many electrons are left in the third shell? 5 electrons are left in the third shell, and these 5 electrons will move toward the 3p. Okay, 3p 5. This is the electronic configuration of chlorine. And in this table we have total the electronic configuration of 18 elements. Write down the electronic configuration of these 18 elements in your notebook. Thank you.